This is why we don't get any paid promotions, guys.
We don't want them promoting our product.
3 developers, 1 mission. Build a business to nurture personal fulfillment. It's not stupid. It's FounderQuest.
Yeah, the party doesn't start until you show up, Josh.
The party animal.
Yeah, that's true. How's everybody doing?
Good.
All right.
Had a good week this week. How are you, Star?
I'm doing pretty good. I got to dive a little bit into our sort of usage data for free users. And that's always fun when I get to do that. I got to use Jupyter Lab a little bit, brushing up on my Python skills. Whenever I would do my sort of deep dives into numbers and stuff, I'd always just make a bunch of Ruby scripts and use the Ruby scripts to kind of process the data and make it, understandable to me. But it turns out there's a whole freaking ecosystem around this in Python, and it's there's a system called Jupyter Labs. You can get it as part of this bigger distribution. This basically is called Conda, which is it's a Python distribution that just has all of the data science stuff built into it. And so so it's just this little web app you run, and then it's really kind of awesome. It's like if you took an IRB shell or something and put it inside of a text editor and let you write Markdown around it. And then also included a whole bunch of tools for doing really complicated stuff with tables of data and doing that in 1 or 2 lines of code.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That reminds me a little bit of like what I've seen of org mode in Emacs. Isn't that they have the thing where you can embed code and generate tables and stuff like that? I think it's super
I don't know.
It's
I've
like a
never
pain in
used
the
that.
ass.
Well, this is surprisingly not a pain in the ass. It's pretty cool. So I've got I'm not done with it, but I'm going to have a little report to share at our marketing meeting, which I think is next week. And about how to squeeze more blood out of our free users. So get ready, guys, because it's not going to be pretty. I'm just kidding.
Well, we've been very generous to our free users, so there's a lot of there's a lot of potential there.
I have a suggestion for helping our free users add some value to us,
Is this just our monetization model now? We just rant at our free users who listen to our podcast. We're just if you want to hear us stop bitching, then sign up for a paid plan.
We'll annoy you until you pay us. No, so we had a free user upgrade just a little while ago, just this morning, and I went and looked at their account, and they've been a free user for a few months. And the trigger, what I was interested in is why did they upgrade? And I was actually going to email them because I've been spending all morning emailing new signups and reaching out to people who have signed up recently. Anyway, so I was going to contact this person and say, hey, why did you sign up? But I went and checked their account, and it turns out they sent a whole lot of errors today or yesterday. And so they've reached the quota limit, and so they had to upgrade so they could actually get their errors. And so my idea is we just send every new sign up a bottle of whiskey and tell them that they can only drink it while they're coding, right? And so then they deploy that code,
there you go.
get a bunch of errors. Exactly.
We sabotage their code. Our discussion along these lines is really reminding me in a weird way of The Godfather or something. It's okay, free users, we've been very generous to you. Over the years, have you doubted our generosity? No. So now it's time for us to ask a little favor.
I like it.
I don't know if it works that way on the internet.
No, I don't think so.
We need to get a new illustration of the honey badger as the Godfather.
Oh, there you go.
I can just see him sitting behind the oak panel desk, in the overstuffed chair, smoking a cigar.
Yeah, that would be something. I'm not sure people would immediately. We'd have to caption it.
Yeah. Yeah, because otherwise it's just like an executive, right? Fat cat CEO boss, right?
Yeah, exactly. We're not about that. We're the exception marketing tool for the 99%.
Is that why we're so cheap?
Occupy exceptions.
Yeah, it must be.
I've been doing this outreach this week, getting started. We mentioned in the last episode that we're working with a sales team, coach, concierge, app combo, whatever you want to call it. I couldn't remember the name, unfortunately, last week. But this week I can remember the name because I've been doing it, working with them all week. And it's Harris from introcrm.com. They are fantastic. We just started working with them on nurturing our inbound leads because we do get people signing up all across the spectrum. We get a bunch of those free users, but we also get people signing up who are, developers at very large organizations. And so we're trying to develop a scheme where we, optimize our time and reach out to people who, with a little more personal approach to people who might be at those big orgs, right? Who might end up being a bit bigger customer. So this week, I've basically just been reaching out to a whole bunch of people, like regardless of their, company size or whatever. I'm just like trying to get into the groove of emailing people and saying, hey, what do you think about Honey Badger? Is there anything I can do for you? And then over time, we'll refine that process and hopefully like fill up the pipeline so I can start even doing like demos or something crazy like that.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So it's been great
We'll
working.
You have to get out the old clip-on tie.
Yeah. We're going to have to get you some Oxford shirts and a clip-on tie.
Do they make some that are just like, they just need to cover your shoulders basically and like just like halfway down your torso just because like that's all you see on Zoom. So
you just like, it's like a bib.
Right.
It's like a child's bib.
It's a sales bib.
Or like when you go to eat ribs.
I'm still tying a tie once a week, every week. Yeah. Even though I'm still doing church online
on Sundays.
On Sundays, I'm still putting on the white shirt, putting on the tie. And
I mean, it's got to be like kind of comforting to keep some sort of tradition, like weekly tradition like that during the past, like crazy, just
totally.
Groundhog Day.
Exactly.
That's cool.
I have switched out the suit pants for sweatpants, but other than that, I'm still
nice.
Haven't we all?
One of the interesting things that I thought was interesting with, because we have a Slack Connect channel now with interest CRM folks. And so they've been like giving us some, I guess, sales tips and they're helping us identify those leads. Harris mentioned that a lot of times like employees at large orgs will sign up with their personal email addresses sometimes. So you need to you can't just identify people based on their company email or something, right? I think that was something he mentioned.
Yeah.
So and those Gmail addresses might not be so,
Yeah, I think
they might not be hackers.
Right. Yeah, we do get a lot of signups from like security researchers who use the Joe Blow and random 6-digit, address at gmail.com. And so in some cases we're like, well, we don't really count them because they're just kicking the tires and trying to see if they can find, some vulnerabilities in the site or whatever, which is fine, but they're not really a lead, So it's good to have some external validation, I guess, around let's really see who these people are. And maybe that joebob23 at gmail.com is actually, a CTO at the
I'm trying to think why do you think that would be? I don't know if it's a trend. I think you just mentioned that it can happen, but if it happens enough for a sales consultant to mention it, why is that a thing? Do you think they're trying to they don't want their bosses to know that they're trying tools outside the company?
Maybe they don't want salespeople to contact them.
Is that it?
Yeah, they don't want the sales spam to their.
So the salespeople are on to them though, because they're mentioning that as one of the first things to look for. So it's this is a rivalry, is what you're saying, right? A classic rivalry.
Yeah, it's like War of the Roses. Since you're going through these by hand, I found that it was kind of obvious which, free email addresses looked a little suspicious, string of random characters at AOL.com. Probably not a legit developer sign up. The people with who were probably pen testers, probably not real leads who were using the free mail accounts, they were definitely, they looked programmatically generated, or they looked like somebody's grandma's email account that somebody hacked in 1996 and hasn't been recovered yet.
Yeah. They should have used Faker.
Right. Yeah, we need to build an AI for this, to automatically, give us a thumbs up or thumbs down if someone looks like they're a real, actual customer.
There's probably something like that out there.
Probably is.
But you have to
it would probably be terrible.
You have to join a sales call for it.
Being super racist or something, like all AIs are these days.
Yeah.
We don't have so many signups that it's, unworkable to actually manually go over them. We do have enough that I don't want to spend all day, every day doing deep dives into researching every person. But, like scanning the list and seeing someone that looks like a mailinator.com sign up. It's like, okay, we'll just pass over that one and go on to the next one.
Yeah. So how's the response so far? Are you getting any people replying?
So per what you would expect from developers, not a whole lot of responses, but yeah, some. And the people that do respond, it's been nice. Like the responses have been good. Like, oh, thanks for checking, or I'm doing this, or stuff. So yeah, it's been good.
Cool.
And it's fun checking out their websites. Like I've been checking out some things. Like one was a land. You can check out what a plot of land who is owned by, and like the classification and the zoning and stuff like that. So one of our customers who signed up recently is running one of those things, and I just love that stuff. I'm a location nerd. I love shopping for houses and stuff, and so that was just fun to play on their website for a few minutes. But
that's cool.
Random.
Do you mention that stuff like when you do that research? Do you mention like, oh, I think your product is really cool? I did the same thing like years back. I remember taking just going through and emailing people, and I found that was helpful. Like mention, show them that you actually did some research and you're not just like, because a lot of people are they just assume that any email they get after they sign up for your product is like an automated, autoresponder. So,
yeah.
And also, if nothing else, it's going to be nice to have that kind of feedback about just our customers and who they are and what they're working on.
Yeah, and I'm particularly focused in on. So we have in our internal admin tools, we have a list of people who signed up recently, and on that list, it shows ones that have not created a project or not sent any error traffic. So obviously they haven't used the app really yet. And so I'm really focused on those. Like if I see a 0 in that column, then I try to make sure to reach out to them and say, hey, is there anything I can do to help you get your app going, get Honeybadger installed? Because if they don't ever activate, then obviously they're not going to convert. And that's bad news for everybody, right?
Yeah. It makes sense to have someone doing that on a regular basis, probably.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm curious what you'll find, because I found that, obviously this was when I looked at it, this was data from it's historical data, right? But I found that once you sort of filtered out people in free email addresses, once you limit it to the US just to make things easier, we didn't have a ton of people who weren't onboarding themselves and sending errors to us.
Yeah. Yeah, I think most people who are, real people who are actually interested in the product actually do get through the whole process and, do activate. So, yeah, but I'm trying everything to see what we can do to activate those people. So we'll see if
if you really want to go the extra mile, you could do one of those little personalized screencasts like Harris sent you for the sales proposal, but just do a quick one, be like, hey, so and so, I saw you signed up, just wanted to show you we're real people over here, and something really short that's easy to produce if you created a system for it. But I wonder if that would change the response rate at all. Because it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to at least if you see it and realize what it is, it's kind of hard to brush that off as oh, this is just a low effort,
Yeah.
True.
It would be,
true.
The trick would be getting people to click on it, because I'm not going to click on any video sent to me unexpectedly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I didn't.
Well, upload it to
a picture of the front of their house.
Upload it somewhere recognizable, like YouTube or Vimeo, or
I'm standing outside of your house right now. It's
like street view of their office.
Yeah.
On the video note, actually, one video that I'm seriously thinking about making is regarding our mission. When I was talking to Harris, so we had this intro, this startup call, let's figure out what we're going to be doing for the first month, and things. And it was just an hour or something on Zoom. And it was great because Harris was interviewing me basically, to find out how they could best fit into our current, situation and help us get to where we want to go. And he asked about, I can't remember what the question was, But my answer was talking about why we do what we do, like why we built Honey Badger. And as I was wrapping up talking about that, I was like, man, I wish we had recorded this Zoom call, because if I took that snippet where I was talking about that and just published that, that would be a great video for our website. Basically talking about how, one, we built Honey Badger because of our frustration with the tool that we had at the time, and how we felt like we deserve better and all developers deserve better. And so we built something that we felt would be better and would help make developers' lives better, at least when it comes with, dealing with exceptions, right? And then the next step, which I don't think we talk about enough, and I'm going back to the website copy to update this, and maybe this is why I'll make the video too. So one, make developers' lives better, but also two, make developers' customers' lives better. Like that's our goal, is to help developers know what's happening with their customers in their apps. And so they can fix those bugs quickly. They can respond to those customers quickly and let them know, hey, saw that you had a problem. Sorry about that. We fixed it. Just let people know that you care, that you're not just like, well, whatever, we don't care about our customers because they can have all the problems and we're just going to go about our merry way, right? So yeah, so I spent 5 or 10 minutes just delivering that spiel to Harris, and I was like, yeah, this would make a great video for our website. So it's on my to-do list. If I can get up the nerve to actually see myself in a recorded video,
Yeah, you can do it. It might take a few takes. That was like a lot harder than I realized. Like talking to a camera, when you're not actually like talking to anyone, when no one's there, you're just like talking to the camera. It's weird. But I think it gets a little bit more familiar the more you do it.
You could just tape a picture of somebody you like below your webcam or something.
Right. Maybe tape a picture of my ideal customer. Find that target customer.
Yeah.
Mr. CTO or, Mrs. CIO, and be like, hi, Mrs. CIO, I'm Ben. I'm here to tell you why you built Honey Badger.
That would be a really funny product with for AI and like deep fakes and stuff. Like it could actually generate a person for you to talk to for those types of things that actually responds to what you're saying. So it's as if they're listening.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
Yeah.
I was going the other way. I was thinking you could just make paper cutouts and glue them to popsicle sticks, so you could have a little puppet show. That could be your video. People don't have to just watch you. You can do a little puppet show.
You just
like that.
Your two hands talking to each other.
We are. This is how business we are.
Sock puppets.
Yeah.
I'm a developer.
That would be unique. I have not seen that done recently.
Yeah, I was just thinking of Syphil and Holly the other day. I don't know if y'all remember that show, but it's pretty amazing. Nobody, crickets. Okay. I guess that's why I got canceled. Anyway, funniest show from 1998, 99? I don't know.
Speaking of funny shows from the 90s. So I got a trial of Paramount Plus because I wanted to watch a movie, and I was like, hey, they have it for free, so I can get a trial. And so I watched the movie, and then I was cruising to see what else they had to watch. We don't watch a whole lot of TV in the Curtis household, so I was just scrolling through, and I saw Beavis and Butthead, and I'm like, so my boys were in the room, so they're 20 and 16. I'm like, hey, this is perfect, right? The three of us, Beavis and Butthead, what could get better? And so I'm like, hey, you guys want to watch Beavis and Butthead? And they're like, no. Not
oh no!
It's
it's not cool anymore.
You should have said
just
it was
gonna
deep
suck.
Fried. It's called it a deep fried meme or something. Whatever they do.
I know it's all these things, all these shows and things that we love that we grew up with, and there's so many more of them for us now. With all the media that's being produced, and it's just the kids are just gonna be like, yeah, I really want to watch I Love Lucy with my dad.
Yeah, that's fine. So my daughter, who's 5, has this bit she does, and I fall for it every time. She's like, hey, could you tell me about what things were like when you were a kid? And I'm like, okay, yeah, I like this is something new. I like this. And so I start saying something, and then she lets me go for a second. Then she interrupts and she says, were there dinosaurs?
That's awesome.
Did you have food back then? And it's just like every time I forget that I'm being set up, I fall for it every time. It's just, ugh.
That's great.
Do you think she's trolling you intentionally?
100%.
Nice.
She's 100% trolling me. Yes, that's her whole job. That's her whole life now. It's trolling me. Yeah, with her little shit-eating grin. Like I love her, but oh man, she really trolls me.
So a number of us attended MicroConf remote this week.
Oh, how was that?
It was good. What'd you think, Josh?
Wait, you mean everybody but me?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
I liked the Gather, the app. I attended a conference. This is it's gather.town is the URL. And it's like a virtual event space that's like 8-bit. It's like Zelda or something for conferences. Like, I don't know. So, or like Stardew Valley reminds me kind of like of that. But you can basically they had an event space where it was like a virtual layout of a whatever conference event, and they had breakout rooms and an auditorium. I think I'd used this once before, like last year, right when everyone was scrambling to figure out virtual events, and it was a little I didn't really click as much then. I thought it was cool, but it's it didn't get utilized very much. But I think they recently added where they show the actual when you go into the auditorium, it actually shows the whoever's speaking at the time, it pops up their video, and it's the events is actually happening inside of the inside of this little 8-bit world, which was kind of fun. So we all Ben and Kevin and I sat together in the middle row, and Ben had a ops emergency, so we knew it was a real. It was just it felt just like being at MicroConf,
Yeah, GatherTown was really good. I think that's the best virtual conference experience I've had so far. Business of Software was really good, and this was really good. I would make a couple changes though. I know the 8-bit thing is all cool and stuff, but if you want to get really close to a real conference, it's better to have real faces. Part of the appeal for GatherTown is you're wandering around in what's like a physical space, right? And so you might come up to a group of people who are talking, and then their audio fades in, and their video, if they have video on, you can see their faces, and so you can join a conversation like you would at a real conference, walk up and hey, I'm such and such, right? But what you can't do with the way they have the 8-bit thing is and then you couldn't customize your avatar much, is you can't recognize somebody from afar off, right? You can't say, oh, I know that person. I want to go and see what they're up to, right? Or I remember seeing them last year. Let me go. Because it's no one knew who Ben, right, is. It's just an avatar, right? So that was kind of frustrating because there are people that I knew who were there, but you don't know who's
unless they have a really unique name or something.
Name, right? Because I
had a similar thought. If you could customize personalize your avatar to the point where people would recognize you, that would be cool. Or use a headshot. But I don't know. The 8-bit is kind of fun too. It's I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
and then the other bit, and the other thing that goes along with that is a badge. So at conferences, you wear this badge on your lanyard, right? It has your name, and it has maybe your company name, maybe your Twitter handle, maybe, whatever. And those are actually useful, surprise, surprise. Because you can walk up to a group of people and you can quickly look at badges and see people's names. So if you don't know someone, but you know their name, right? Oh, you're, whomever. Oh, I should talk to you because of whatever, we have this shared interest, right? But that information wasn't available in GatherTown either, right? You couldn't really broadcast that my name is Ben Curtis, or, I'm a co-founder of Honey Badger, right? Which all the time at conferences, people are see the name tag and they see the name and they're like, oh, I know Honey Badger. And then they strike up a conversation. So I think if you really want to replicate that experience, you got to show that somehow on the screen. But otherwise, GatherTown was great. I loved it.
Yeah.
It seems like they need a little they need everybody's profile in there, and you can search and find where they are in the room.
Yeah,
or whatever.
they could definitely make some improve. Yeah, a roster.
If you get close to people, it pops up dossiers on each of them.
Mm-hmm. Whatever happened to Second Life? They still.
I was just thinking. It sounds like
It sounds
like what people were doing in Second Life.
20 years ago.
Yeah, it's still around.
It's still around and it hasn't changed. Like I mean, like it's every time I've gone back and looked at it, like it's just the same. You know, it's basically the same. But it just seems like I'm surprised we haven't they just haven't exploded in the last year. Like this was like their opportunity to they're a virtual world that's got they have all that stuff built in. Like you can play video in the world. Like it's like one of the most virtual spaces probably that you could have. So like I'm surprised that they didn't pivot after however many years and really
that would be
really go mainstream
hard, though, to just they would have to they would have to just be like, okay, drop everything. We're going to build a completely new platform that isn't old. That's going to entice people. Like by the time you get done with it, pandemic's over.
So I've never checked out Second Life, but one thing that was interesting about your idea about them pivoting, I think maybe it's just like they support it's too wide open. Ben Thompson of Stratechery had a great bit about this recently. When he was comparing Second Life to Roblox and talking about the success of Roblox. And he argues that one of the successful attributes of Roblox is the limited nature of the environment, right? It's very constrained. And so that encourages creativity in other ways that you don't get in a Second Life where everything's possible, right? And so it's kind of overwhelming, right?
I don't know. I think having watched the documentary and not ever used it, it seems like there's a lot of creativity there.
Well, there is, yeah. But then it's also, I imagine it would be hard for them to pivot also just because of the way they've built a functioning economy into the system. I'm assuming they would have popular uprisings and there would be revolts, if they pivoted to sell out to some sort of corporate, event overlords or something, the people would rise up. Because there's people that still make they make their living in that economy.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I just think having a more constrained environment would be better for a conference, right? Like the GatherTown thing.
For a conference.
Yeah, you're located in this conference center, right? And you have the expo hall and you have the library and things like that. Mm-hmm. I did love the expo hall in GatherTown. I really did. Being able to go up and check out a vendor, sponsor, without actually having to chat with someone was fantastic, right?
That's nice.
Yeah, you could go up, you could walk up to a booth and there might be a person there or there might not. And there would be a computer there on the desk. And you could, if you check that out, you would actually see their webpage that was specifically for the conference. Or you could, of course, chat to the booth person who might be manning the booth.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the best expo hall experience of a conference so far.
That's cool. I didn't go in there. I should have.
It's great.
I didn't really do anything, to be honest.
Yeah, I didn't do a lot of hanging out.
Besides sit in the auditorium, but that was cool.
That was cool. So props to MicroConf for using GatherTown. That was a good experience.
I also liked, one of the things I liked about the MicroConf, the way they did it was that it wasn't all day, mm-hmm. which some of the past virtual events I've done, they kept the schedule of a traditional event, which is sessions in the morning, break for lunch, sessions in the afternoon. By the end of it, you've been sitting in front of your computer, in a virtual meeting basically for 8 hours or something, and it's just exhausting. And MicroConf only had they did 2 talks I think per day or something, and then there was opportunity to go do if you wanted to go check out the sponsors or chat, find people to chat with, you could, but it felt less overwhelming.
Yeah,
I would like it if regular conferences were like that. I mean, they're not, because everybody's away from work and doesn't want to be away from work for a week. But 2 talks a day is about, honestly, my ideal situation.
That's basically what we do at normal MicroConf.
Yeah, in normal conferences, I can't watch them all. By the end of the day, sure, I can sit there, but I am just not comprehending anything that's going on.
Yeah. Should we voice our opinion about missing Las Vegas, Ben? Or is that too controversial? Because we were some of the ones that were man, I'm sick of coming to Las Vegas, but now the thought of not go, I just don't want to go to Minneapolis. I'd rather, I miss Las Vegas for some reason, and I'm we haven't even come to that yet.
Yeah, well, we got to the point where we weren't staying at the Tropicana anymore because like we'd had enough of the Tropicana, right? So
maybe that's it. Like we complained about Las Vegas for like several years, and then we were like, let's just like stay somewhere else. And then we started doing that, and all of a sudden, like it switced, and they listened to us. Yeah,
yeah.
I was like, no.
When
we can afford to like.
When you posted that street view of Coco's, that hit me right in the feels. I was like, oh, yeah, now I miss going to Vegas for MicroConf because that was the tradition that we had.
So Ben and I, we always would go, and this was your tradition before. I think like I missed the first couple at least, or I don't know how many I missed, but like there's Coco's is like a diner right next to the Tropicana, or actually it's like down the street past the Hooters. And so like we would always walk down there in the mornings and get breakfast or whatever, like just like diner breakfast, just because I mean like Tropicana is probably not much better. And you get to go outside.
Yeah, you get to walk.
Yeah. So the first morning or like the second morning of virtual MicroConf, I got on Google Street View and I went to the Tropicana, and then I did did our little street walk to Coco's, and then sent Ben a screenshot.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, trip down memory lane.
One point in favor of Minneapolis, and I agree with you, like given the choice between Las Vegas and Minneapolis, I would choose Las Vegas every time. But one point in favor of Minneapolis is they have some fine eating establishments there around the convention center.
That's true.
When I travel, I love to just kind of splurge on food. And I mean, obviously Vegas has some incredible food selections that you're just not going to beat, but Minneapolis has some good eateries
some good stuff,
center. So yeah.
Yeah. And I liked the indoor, like Skyway or whatever.
Yeah, the Sky
That was
Bridges.
Minneapolis, the Sky Bridges, yeah. But I'd rather.
Maybe we'll get to go to conference in person again sometime next year or something.
Yeah, I mean, like, no matter where it is, it'll still be.
Yeah,
still be fun.
I realized that I actually do miss traveling a few times a year. Like, I don't think I'd ever want to travel like on a regular basis, but I think I've been averaging 3 or so times a year prior to COVID.
Makes a difference.
Yeah, I miss it. I miss going places.
Yeah, it's nice.
I got actually like late last year, I got the notification that my TSA pre-check is expiring like in July or something this year. And like when I first got the notification, I was just like, it was just bummed me out. Like, I'm like, man, like, do I even need this anymore? Like, will I ever travel again? And so I'm starting to think that I will probably be renewing it pretty soon here because it'll expire right around the time I need it.
They should totally give you a 1-year extension on that.
They should.
I'm sure they're not equipped to do that.
They're not equipped for much. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird, like getting back into normal life and travel and stuff like that. Like we've been doing little road trips and staying at Airbnbs and stuff, but that's not like it's not really the same.
Yeah.
Where are you gonna go first, Star?
I don't know. Like the grocery store. Like actually go inside. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe to see the grandparents in California.
Yeah, that's where I'd be going. See the grandparents. It's tough.
I mean, like, screw the grandparents. I'm going to Hawaii. Sorry.
Oh, there you go.
Sorry, grandparents.
Just tell the grandparents to go to Hawaii and meet them there.
Yeah.
So one other thing that happened this week that is kind of fun, I just deployed a few minutes ago, actually, is we're now supporting promotion codes. So another kind of growth hack that we're going to try is partnering with some different groups. And what really prompted this actually was MicroConf. So a few months or so ago, Ben Finlay posted about going to the AppSumo marketplace. And I thought, yeah, it's a good idea. But didn't really think a whole lot of it. Didn't really plan on doing much about it. Just like, yeah, we should do that someday. And then kind of set it aside. And then like at MicroConf Remote, they talked about Ruben Gomez's doc sketch and how he did an AppSumo thing. And as I was watching that, and then they had a person from AppSumo talking about the marketplace, talk about, how it works and things like that. And I thought, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. And I remembered Ben's Basecamp post and I went and looked at that. And I'm like, yes, let's do it. And so like during that talk, I started to write code. I'm like, all right, I have an idea of how to do this. And so So I guess that was Wednesday. Wednesday, Thursday, wrote the code and put it up there last night for PR, and Josh approved it this morning. So now we actually support promotion codes, so we can do that AppSumo Marketplace listing. And I have some other ideas of people we can reach out to that I think would be interested in handing out promotion codes for Honey Badger. So
that's awesome.
If you happen to be, if you're listening and you happen to be interested in doing a promotion with Honey Badger, feel free to reach out.
How can they reach you?
Ben at honeybadger.io would be the best way to go.
All right. You mentioned DocSketch briefly. I feel like I should say, like, we use the hell out of DocSketch.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would not. So DocSketch is a thing that it's an e-signature platform. It's very much like what is it, DocuSign?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But it is much, much, much more affordable, reasonably priced. Yeah, it does everything we need, and it's much more. I don't know. Also, it's
simple.
Just kind of friendlier. It's simpler.
I like it. Yeah, it really is like the best one I've used, I think.
Yep.
It is. It is. And we do at least 1 or 2 a week because I use it for all my author agreements.
Yeah. I've been using it for the contractors too. Yeah. For our like freelancers.
Yeah. So I feel like we should plug that product because it's awesome. And Ruben's awesome. And so everybody should go out and buy it. So
it really was like a classic MicroConf. You missed the first day due to Honey Badger. And then you spent the second the next couple days like building out a feature based on your takeaways. We got a little trip to Coco's.
Yes, almost like the real thing. Wow.
Couldn't ask for more.
You should have had me come over and I would spray y'all with dirty water to like simulate the time the fire extinguisher went off during the
oh, that was fun. Yeah.
During the talks.
Yeah. The only thing we didn't get is like the sore feet from walking back and forth across the strip. Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah.
Yeah.
So much walking.
Well, you never know. Maybe there will be a return to Vegas one day for old time's sake. Or we could just go to Vegas. You know, if they keep doing the virtual MicroConfs, we could just go to Vegas for the, and just like stream it from the hotel.
There you go. I mean, why are we even trying to pursue growth by like through customers? Like we can just put it all on red.
Yeah.
Just let it roll. Let it ride. Whatever those people
it's our
say.
Annual growth trip. Yes.
Okay, you've been listening to FounderQuest. If you want to review us on Apple Podcasts, that's awesome. If you want to write for us, we're always looking for writers. Go to our blog at honeybadger.io/blog and see the Write For Us page. And we're starting a new thing that I'm recruiting writers for, which is we're going to be doing some quarterly sort of reports showing all the sort of news and events and activity that's happened around various programming language communities. So if you're interested in that, get in touch too. All right. See y'all later.
FounderQuest is a weekly podcast by the founders of Honey Badger. Zero instrumentation, 360-degree coverage of errors, outages, and service degradations for your web apps. If you have a web app, you need it. Available at honeybadger.io. Want more from the founders? Go to FounderQuestPodcast.com. That's one word, where you can access our huge back catalog of episodes. FounderQuest is available on iTunes, Spotify, and other purveyors of fine podcasts. We'll see you next week.